Hello, West Michigan. This is Grand Tap Media Business TV. My name is Pamela Keim, your host. We are recording out of the Grand Castle Library, which is in the second largest castle on earth, located in the city of Granville. We want to thank Roger Lucas, who passed back in October, and we miss him dearly, and Ben Deal, who made all of this possible. And we want to thank the staff and the maintenance people, Chris Huntoon, who is the owner of Microgreens. We can share more about that. But we are excited about being here today. I have a very special guest for my final interview inside the Grand Castle. This is Tim Salgo. He is the former athletic director for Grand Valley, and he wrote the book, Moms and Dads Eat the Brown Bananas. That's pretty interesting. He has written other books. So I want to welcome Tim to the show, and he's going to share what he can do for most of you out there in West Michigan.
Pamela, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Thank you so
I'm the grand
much.
finale of your shows, and I'm honored, and this is really cool here in the Grand Castle Library.
That's very cool. I had some people, I mentioned when you walked in the door, I had a whole day packed, and you know, it is what it is. People end up getting sick and they have to cancel. But I'm happy to have you here because we've been talking for the last couple of weeks and about your books, and we know some people in the community. So who is Tim Salgo? Tell us all about you.
Yeah, I've had an interesting career. The vast majority of it spent in college athletics. So I played basketball a million years ago at the University of Toledo, ended up coaching basketball there, and I was the associate athletics director there.
Okay.
Until 1996. And in 1996, former president of Grand Valley State University, Don Lubbers, hired me to be the director of athletics at Grand Valley, and I spent 20 years as the director of athletics until July of 2016. And you know, it was a wonderful career, unbelievably rewarding. But I think what many people don't realize, who tend to go to games on the weekends, that there are people working those games.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're a college athletics administrator, you work weekends pretty much 9 months out of the year. And I was frankly tired of working weekends all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I shifted into what I call my second career here as a consultant, an author, a speaker. And so I do consulting now in college athletics around the country. I've had over 40 schools as clients in the last 5.5 years, and I enjoy that. It keeps me involved in college athletics in a much less stressful way.
Right.
I do a lot of speaking. I have done over 300 speeches throughout my career, and continue to do so. And then, of course, why we're here today. I'm an author.
But let's talk, before we go into your book, which I'm really interested in hearing what that is about. I had a son that went on with a scholarship at Eastern Michigan as a runner. I want you to share, there's a lot of people that, you know, they're trying to get their kids to get those scholarships, athletic scholarships, and share a little bit about how you can help them, what they should be focusing on in their high school years. And then also, you know what, I mean, how many of them do graduate? So that's the key. So when you're looking at these parents that are looking, maybe they got a great star athlete, you know, my son was a star state runner, right? And in cross country and in track. And it's exciting. But I tell you what, it's different in college.
It certainly is.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit.
You have to be very committed, very dedicated if you want to be a student athlete in college athletics.
You do.
Whatever level you're at. Division I, which is Eastern Michigan, and of course the Big Ten. Grand Valley is Division II, and then Hope, Calvin as Division III, and Cornerstone and Aquinas or NAIA. They're all require a great deal of dedication.
It's a lot of work.
My advice for parents of young athletes, and I have grandsons now that are in youth sports, you know, there are much more academic scholarship money out there than there is athletic scholarship money. It's significantly more. And you know, to work on their studies and achieve academically, they have a better chance of obtaining a scholarship because of their academics than they do of athletics. It's a very small percentage that obtain an athletic scholarship, and it requires a high level of commitment. However, having done that, and again, for me, it was a long, long time ago.
Right.
It was a great experience in my life. It was not easy. It was hard. I learned a tremendous amount of life lessons through my college basketball career. And I would argue I learned more lessons that have helped me later in life to become successful than I did anything else I did during those 4 years of college. It was a grind at times, but life is a grind.
It is a
And it
grind.
prepares you well for it. But it was a fun and exciting time. And I'm often asked, you know, I coached for about 15 years and then I was an athletics administrator. Do you miss coaching? And I tell people all the time, I miss playing. I'm way too old for that now as I walk and ride my bike and do that stuff.
Right.
But I really wish I could go back to playing and watching games.
And you played
games
what?
I played basketball.
That's what I thought you said at the
Yeah,
beginning.
we had some great success at Toledo in the late 70s. I had the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament, or March Madness as everybody knows it today, twice, and made it to the Sweet 16 one year. So had some great success, but most importantly, I learned some great lessons. And I had a tremendous coach. His name was Bob Nichols. And of the 3 books that I've written, my second book, it's entitled Make One Play, is based off of a concept that Coach Nichols taught his players all the time. And that concept was, fellas, you never know what one play will lead to. And I've never heard any other coach use that phrase. They use it all the time, meaning go hard, do your best every day, because you never know what that one thing will be that will turn your life around, turn your career around.
Yeah.
What that one thing will do for somebody else, that one smile, that one piece of encouragement.
Meeting
that-
you.
That one little extra effort, you know, for mentors and mentees and students and teachers, coaches and players. That 1.5 hour spending time with a kid and helping a kid through a difficult time in his or her life. Make One Play is the title of that book, and my college coach was the winningest coach in the history of the Mid-American Conference, and I learned. So those are the things I learned in college athletics that have carried over into my life that I've tried to pass on to others through my career in college athletics and now through my career in writing books.
Well, and what I learned as a parent when my son went off to a university of the college level, it's tough.
Yeah.
I remember his first meet, he was redshirted his first year.
Yeah.
They do that to acclimate you into studies and stuff,
Sure.
unless you're a super football player or whatever, and he was a runner. And as he played, went to Michigan, they had what do you call it? Meet, there you go, thank you. At Michigan State, and my son actually ran against Stanford,
Yeah,
Notre Dame,
sure.
U of M. Yeah, I found out real fast
Yeah.
how fast. I mean, he thought he was fast, but he still, there was like over 300 and something runners. He ended up at like 100. His coach was happy. He was at 150 or 100,
Yeah.
that range, half. So, but I looked at what we didn't think about, and you might be able to share a little bit, is the nutritional aspect
Yeah.
of becoming. Your kid may be great in high school, but when you get to the college level, we were given a list of all the nutrition, what he needed to do, and my son did not follow it when he was running 100 miles a week. He got injured.
Yeah.
He got, all the things that you think. He got, what do they call it when you, anemic,
Yeah.
because you're running that much, and what that did to him. And so he was plagued with injuries in college. The team did well,
Right.
so he was able to get all the trophies. But as an individual athlete, I think people have no idea what nutritional aspects you have to move down once you get to that level. You are pushing your body at its peak performance.
What he found out early in his college career, same thing I found out. It's not just, it's more difficult. Every day, he's going against the best of the best that he ran against in high school. When you get to the college level, it's like anything in life. You take a step up, go to the next level, the competition is greater. And so there's more required of yourself to have success. The first book that I wrote, Anchor Up, that's what we say at Grand Valley. We're the Lakers, and the Lakers would say anchor up. That means pull that anchor up and let's go, let's sail. And I talked, that book is a book in large part about college athletics, but it also is how to build an organization and how to find success in life. But what your son found out and what I found out is that to really succeed at the best levels of college athletics, it takes every part of your being.
Yeah.
It isn't just nutrition. You've got to get the proper rest. You've got to train like crazy in the off season when none of the coaches are around to
Right.
be ready to go. You have to make sure that you're doing all the right things every day in practice to be ready for that competition. And those are all great life lessons. You know, you learn to sacrifice. You learn to dedicate yourself and make a commitment. It's about making a commitment.
Yeah. My son was very dedicated, was in bed by 10,
Yeah.
followed the regimen there. The only thing, you know, he went to the local cafeteria, ate what his friends ate.
Sure.
Right? And you get this,
Yeah.
right? But when you're running, you know, a 10K or whatever they run, right? In cross country, I think it's still a 3-point, like
Right,
straight.
right.
But anyways, I mean, it's that last mile. You
Yeah.
gotta kick it in, and you could just see it on the track too. When he used to do the 2 mile, whatever they did, you know. It's been a while. He's graduated a while back, but anyways, and then that last mile, man, you get the separation, and it's the guys.
Yeah.
Natural ability came for him. But when he was running against Stanford and all those guys, these guys were well trained.
Oh.
He woke right up.
There-
You know, he's like, but he did not he used his money for books. You understand that? He
Sure.
only got a partial scholarship. He says, I need to buy a book for $150. I don't have time to buy every little vitamin thing on this because they give you,
Yeah,
which is what you should be taking.
right.
And I didn't know Chris back then and microgreens. You know, I could have mailed him microgreens every week. I had no idea the
Yeah.
nutritional value until what that took. So as parents, you're paying for tuition, you're paying for books, you're paying for gas, his car. You know, you look back and like, you go to the cafeteria, do the best you can. But I had no idea what plagued him with injuries.
Well, in our lifetimes, we've come so far in knowing how to achieve the maximum physical performance.
Right.
It's hard, you know, from strength training to nutrition.
Right.
When you're a college student, you're eating in the
You can overtrain,
dining
too.
hall. You can definitely overtrain. I did that at one time, and
Yeah, he did
I
too.
learned to back off and maintain more balance, which we're going to talk about in a minute with my
Yeah.
third book. But you know, these are all things that I think people don't realize about college athletics. You know, it's hard for a college student athlete who's eating in the dining hall to really nutritionally. I hear that over and over again with my clients that student athletes it's more important to them to eat well, and they can't get the right kinds of foods and dining services at the college level. So you've got to figure out a way, right? I mean, that's what you got to do in life. You got to figure out a way to maximize it. The other thing that I'm hearing more and more at the college level, I think, and throughout life, more and more people are coping with some type of mental health issue.
Yeah.
And I experienced that, you know, 40 some years ago when I was in college.
Sophomore year.
There's some anxiety, there's you know, really a lot of tension, and are you going to succeed? Am I going to let my parents down? Am I going to let my friends down? Am I going to let my team down? Those are all things that really weigh and cause mental health issues. And then you talk about maintaining grades. You know, while you're a high-level athlete at the college level, you've got to do a great job in the classroom and maintain your grades. You want to have some fun in life. And all of it comes down to, in my opinion, and I learned this just do the best you can with your God-given talents and abilities. And I came to that conclusion. Thankfully, I had great parents. And I tell this story in my first book, Anchor Up. I have great parents who sat me down midway through the first semester of my freshman year. And they said to me, you know, we don't care whether you play a lot in basketball or whether you get straight A's or whether you hardly ever get to play in your whole career and you make C-level grades in school.
Right.
What we want most of all is for you to do your best. And then they said the key words, because they said, you see, we're going to love you either way. Whether you're first team all-league or you rarely get to play, or whether you make all A's or all C's and B's, we're going to love you either way. We just want you to do the very best you can. And I can remember that moment in November of 1976 when I could almost physically feel the weight off my shoulders. And from that point on, I decided, you know what, I'm not here to please anybody else. I'm going to do the best that I can with my God-given talents and abilities and try to become the best that I can be. And once I did that, it made a huge shift in my life. And it carried throughout my life to the point that I refer to this in each of my books. I think the best definition of success ever was made by John Wooden. John Wooden was the great basketball coach at UCLA in the 70s, 10 national champions, the best coach of any sport at any level in my lifetime, in my opinion. And his definition of success was, success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of the self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you're capable of becoming. So it didn't say anything about how much money you made, or how many great grades, or summa cum laude, or first team All-American. It's that peace of mind you get when you know you have a self-satisfaction knowing you did your best to become the best you're capable of becoming. And I think if people would stay focused on that, more people would find more success, and with more success, I think they would have more peace of mind, and there would be less mental health issues.
Okay, so my son, I keep talking because I only know him through college. He was the only one that went for athletics in college. All right, so he's a sophomore, goes, and you can get this, right?
Yeah.
He has the success, he gets recruited, right, in high school. You go and you up against the best of the best to the state, the country, and then they're not star athletes anymore. You get this, right? So you sitting in the athletic director, you've had probably students like that, and athletes, I'm quitting.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm going home. I'm whatever. And I wasn't there to hear that conversation because he wasn't going to tell Mom that. But anyways, he's sitting in, and his athletic director said, what are you going to do when you get home? Yeah. What's your plan? So have you sat down with these students that maybe their first year of growing up, maybe in football, getting knocked down by somebody that's...
Sure.
What do you say as a parent when your kid does call and say, because my son did call.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Right.
And I have to go to class, I got to do my own laundry. He was lucky he was an athlete, he was able to go into those athletic labs, which we love, tutoring, and they deserve that because they're traveling, they're working hard, he was up at 5 o'clock in the morning to run, and he had to run 100 miles a week.
Right.
You can't even imagine that poor kid. To me, he's a kid, right?
Sure.
He was a young adult, away from home, and he wasn't going to come home on the weekends, it was two hours away.
Right.
So, what do you do with those athletes that really find out, if you got to stay the pace, like my son did, got it through, the team got success, but he was just like, I can't do this. This is too much. I took care of everything for him. All he had to do was get in the car and get on the track.
One of the greatest life lessons that you can learn through college athletics is how to overcome adversity. I'm very thankful that I had a father. He was a coach, a high school basketball coach, an outstanding teacher, that I played for a college coach. That was an outstanding teacher. And he taught us, and he over and over again emphasized, you're going to face adversity in life. As a college athlete, you're going to face adversity. I don't care what it is. And we used to tell all of our student athletes at Grand Valley that every year in August before the season started. You're going to face adversity. It could be homesickness. It could be an injury. It could be a tough time in a class. It could be a relationship is going bad. It could be tough times at home. You're going to face all kinds of adversity in life, and this is the time in college that you can teach how to overcome that. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting up every day and putting one foot in front of the other.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's making a decision to make a change in your life. And I talk about that in my book, Moms and Dads Eat the Brown Bananas.
About that.
To maintain balance in your life, sometimes you got to make some tough choices. And going through tough times teaches you how to deal with adversity, because you're going to face it in life. And once you've dealt with it and realize you come out on the other end, okay, it's not as hard the next time. Yeah. And you realize that, the sun will come up the next day. One of the great teachers in sport, when he was just on, is Nick Saban, the great football coach at Alabama.
Okay.
I had the good fortune of being Nick's supervisor the first year he was a head football coach at the University of Toledo. That was his first head coaching job. In 1990, I was associate athletics director. I got to work with Nick for a full year. It was wonderful. He's a tremendous coach. And now he's gone. He's the greatest coach of college football ever. And I noticed the other night they lost the game in the championship to Georgia. And yet, he was gracious enough to congratulate Kirby Smart, the other coach.
Right.
He had class. He did it with class, whether he wins or loses. Because if you win a championship or you make a lot of money, okay, now what? Yeah, now what are you going to do for mankind? What are you going to do for the common good? And in his press conference after the game, very interesting, you can find it on YouTube, he has his two star players, his one offensive star and defensive star up there, and they were done with the questioning of the players, and they were getting ready to go, and he said, hold it, stay here, guys. And he spent a minute thanking these guys for their effort and their performance. Now, they just lost the national championship game. That's hard for a kid. It's tough time.
It's a long bus ride home.
And there was their coach thanking them in front of everybody.
Oh,
and that's a teacher. That's a guy that knows how to teach. And I think that's a critical component in life. The best leaders are the best teachers. He's a great teacher. John Wooden, who I referred to, is a great teacher.
Okay.
My dad, my coach. So I've been around Brian Kelly, our great coach at Grand Valley, who went on and was just at Notre Dame. Now he's going on to LSU. You know, a great coach.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate to be around some great teachers and coaches in my lifetime. And I want to pass those things on to others through my writing now.
I can see that. Okay, let's talk about moms and dads eat the brown bananas. What does that mean, and what is in this book, and why? What do you want parents? Do you want parents to pick this up?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
a book that probably the target audience would be young professionals who are parents, although you don't have to be a parent and you don't have to be a young professional. At every stage in our lives, we're trying to find balance.
Right.
All right? And so what is balance? You know, if you look it up in the dictionary like we all do, we go to our app and we look up a definition.
Is there
of
no
word.
such thing as balance, is there?
In balance, there are 29 definitions of balance. But the one this book is referring to, and what I'm trying to convey to folks, is the one that talks about emotional stability,
Right.
mental steadiness, habits of calm behavior or calm judgment. This is a crazy world we live in the 21st century. I mean, it's a very noisy world, very busy world. How do you maintain balance? You know, maybe another term would be peace of mind. How does one find peace of mind amidst the craziness of life in the 21st century? You know, one of the things we never talk about much, but, you know, I'm a baby boomer, and in my lifetime, the population of this country is about doubled. That means more people, more problems, more issues, more congestion, more noise, and how do you deal with that? So this book is a step towards, I think, helping young people today find a balance in life, or finding that peace of mind that can help them through adversity and with their life decisions. You have to learn to prioritize. You have to learn to make decisions in life and make choices. And they're not always easy. They're big or small. This book, I think, helps guides people in doing that. And I tell the story, and it is a story of a fictional couple. I think life lessons can be best taught through stories. So with this book, my third book, it's a fictional couple, Walter and Alexandria, and they go through all the decisions in life that many of us go through. And I have more books planned about this couple because this just touches on their early years.
This could be a series.
Oh, it's going to be a series.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, the thing about, okay.
Very early in my career, when our first child was born, that if I was going to be successful, that find a work-life balance, I realized that yes, for a period of time in my life, probably 20 years, I wasn't going to have a whole lot of personal time.
Working the
And
weekends.
fun, right? You know, and,
Yeah.
and in the book, in the back of my book, I offer a chapter called the Game Plan for Maintaining Balance in Life.
Okay.
And I offer 8 things, suggestions, if you will, for the readers, to challenge the readers to look at that, to work at finding balance, because you have to work at it. You know, and I would argue with some of those folks, they probably had more balance than they realized and did more things. Warren Buffett, for example. He played bridge a lot.
Yeah.
And he played bridge on his iPhone when that came about. And, you know, that was a way for him to get his mind off investing and business, right? And I think they all did something along those lines. Otherwise, it would cause serious problems.
As we wrap up this 5 minutes, if I were, we're going to do a book dedication shortly here, but if I was to pick up this book, give me 3 things you'd like me to get out of it, and what would you like to inspire somebody?
Well, first of all, that book can be read in 60 to 90 minutes by almost anyone. And
Okay.
I wrote that by design. I didn't want it to be a lengthy book. I'm a voracious reader. I like big
I got
big
books everywhere too.
I read them. I got 2 or 3 going at a time. Most young couples with families or people in today's world trying to make their way in life are very busy. So I wrote the book accordingly.
Okay.
One thing in particular that I think I'd like to stress to everyone that I think is critical, and that is to start your day with some quiet time. I recommend a minimum of 10 minutes. Now, I use more than that, and I did when we had 3 children, and that's part of the title of the book. The book's title comes from 25 years ago. I was at work with young kids. I had gotten to work, grabbed a cup of coffee. We're sitting conversing with a few of my colleagues, and we all had young children, and we were all lamenting how getting the kids ready to go to school and then going to work was like you'd been through World War III before work even started.
Right.
And one of them said, yeah, and trying to get your kids to eat breakfast every day is a chore in itself. Oh, yeah, they never will. Maybe a Pop-Tart. And I said, I always try to get them to eat a banana on the way to school. And then one of them said, yeah, and if there's one brown spot on that banana, they won't eat it. That's true today with my 5 grandsons. They
That's
can't
true for
have
my
any
kids
brown
too.
spots. So who eats the bananas that have brown spots? The parents do.
Yeah,
And that's part of life. You know, as a leader, as a person with a responsibility, sometimes you got to do those things to enjoy the wonderful hugs from those little grandsons and children, right? But start your day getting centered. And that can be different things for most people. But I think you got to have some quiet time, whatever that means. For you, it might be meditation. It might be, for myself, I would wake up with my coffee and juice, and for me, it's about an hour. I have my coffee and juice, and I do some scriptural reading. I'm a Catholic Christian.
Right.
I have a devotional period in there. I may watch something now on my phone that gives me some spiritual lessons in life, but most often I'm a reader, and I'll read.
Yeah.
And that's where I get my quiet time. And then when I get that, when the kids were young, the first kid got up and got in the shower, then it was chaos, right?
Yeah.
It was.
Well, what I did, I was
sure.
sure for busy moms out there, right? Tim has a different path he had to go, raising a family. Me as a mother, I bought a timer, like those cooking timers. 5 minutes every morning. I read book. Before I knew it, without the year, I was a stack. You can't believe, because you learn to train your brain to read faster and faster. I carried a book around in my car anytime I waited for my kids for a couple minutes in the parking lot. And that was before cell phones. People waste a lot of their time on cell phones. But I used to carry a book around me. I was sitting in the bleachers, moved away from all the gabbing people. That's basically how I was back then. And I would read a book for a couple minutes before my son started playing basketball or running a race.
Sure.
You have a lot of time in track, let me tell you. You can read a lot in track, right? When you're there all day. But that's what I would do. It will change your life if you can just take 5 minutes for you, to invest in you, and read a book, and read the Bible, whatever. I went through the New Testament in no time. But I want to thank Tim Salgo for being here. Get his book, Moms and Dads Eat Brown Bananas, The Brown Bananas. And check out your name on social media platforms. And I just want to finish up today with, what do you think about this library that Roger Lucas built?
This is fantastic. The volume of books here is remarkable, and this is really cool. You know, I like quiet spots. Libraries are quiet spots.
Yeah, I love libraries.
This would be a great place to grab a cup of coffee and read a book.
Yeah, it is very much a wonderful place that I've been able to have my show. We have tours, we had events here. It's been fabulous. So, you know, we miss Roger very much. We wish his family all the best. And Grand Tap Media moves on from here. So my name is Pamela Keim, and this is the Grand Tap Media Business TV show. We want to thank Chris Huntoon for recording for WCET today. And we will catch you next time. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you, Pamela.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.